Okay, let's try again. So, yeah, let's go back to Nita explaining, how her sister, bipolar disorder, is wanting to become a modern time witch goddess, and still experiencing hatred towards her children, her two sons, I believe. And the brother-in-law is still in the relationship once in a while, on and off, because they fight a lot. I mean, he still stays, but his wife goes and cheats and tries to feel like she has options and is experiencing life at the best that she knows how. And so that family comes, her explanation about her parent bad experiencing, sorry, I meant experiences with Nita, and Heather feeling mentally broken because she always experienced being the perfect daughter to her parents, and Heather missing that relationship, that depth with her parents, and being the only daughter, the baby of her family, and being given so much from wealthy parents, and Heather always feeling that she needed to try her best, do her best, and you know, like the the lesbian life never being something that she thought could be a bad thing to her parents. All these things, including just not being the best. There's like this one text. Hold on. You got the good Boston. And I'm like a little weirded out because, you know, like Heather like behaves boy-like with like body thing, like burping, like burping like a man. And same with Nita, and just using like gross behavior that would not be included in girly or appropriately religious with background. Just things like that. And so, you know, like, that text is from my first week at that homeless night center. Okay, so June 14th, and it says, okay, so here is the plan. Nita and I, Heather, hope that your other contacts follow through first, because we don't have space physically and emotionally for the 11th time bringing in new dogs for our old dogs. And right now we have 3 dogs, new dogs, and we're tired and exhausted from allowing different people stay for months at our house See, that happened with other new friends, not long time friends like me. It was new sexual, new life experience friendships. Yes, we acknowledge that we want to give you the best possible chance to get towards your goal of 6 months to get your green card. So we will give you 1 month of a bus pass if you want, and we'll see about the next month. I am happy to give you $100 so you can get food for the day, and maybe you can find a tree so you can cool down from the hot weather. It kills me to say no to you, to not stay here in our home. But if you need us to pick you up and take you back to the Women's Center, we will be very happy to do that. We just can't. Plus, I did not accept the $100. I thought about it for a very long time to accept the bus pass because I was only eating 1 sandwich that first week and thinking about how much I needed for the day, and maybe making it with my body with 3 sandwiches for food. And I obviously notified them, but that didn't really matter. Not in compassion and nothing. And then she says, you are allowed to visit once or twice a month if you need the vacation. I'm homeless, and she's using vacation terms. For days off. I'm like, you sound spoiled. And then I'm apologizing, you know, like, I know it's a lot. I'm a lot right now with the stress, like my life being put onto each one of your personal, everyday life on routine. So I understand my lower level of importance. So I denied the money. And saying thank you for allowing me to stay for that one night. And I was very clear about explaining my emotions that felt triggering to a lot of loneliness. But Heather believed that me feeling that lonely feeling meant that I could cause her, Heather, to be sick with a diagnosed mental breakdown, with all these different things like anxiety and depression and low self-esteem, and that would also include each member of her house. And then I messaged Nita, and Nita, she was sleeping, while Heather saw the text, the phone, and my name, and she went and checked it first, and then said, "Hey, I saw your text to Nita, but she's still resting." Last night was another long night for her with the kids. So I hope the bus system is working for you and beneficial. I hope you feel better. I myself am struggling so much mentally and emotionally. And now I'm exhausted and burnt out. I have been experiencing shutting down for days. I honestly can't handle anything more people, more stress. I had to tell my mom to pick up my dad so they could, oh, sorry, I'm wrong. To pick up my dad's Father's Day treats, because I cried and cried while I cut the brownies. At the wrong time, so now I look at them and now they're ugly. LOL. And then adding up 10 to 11 years of friend help from their family side of Nita and Heather, saying, I want you safe, happy, and hope you find your path. I support you and hope to give you the good remembrance of our family, giving you that short 2-week stay, 1 week stay at our home, and now 4 years later, a weekend stay that drive to the court meeting this week's drive to the center a nice shoulder to lean on, or this one. A bus pass so you feel freedom and us being those friends to all be beneficial for you, Gio. But I have to do the most hardest thing ever because I just love helping other people, and I struggle to say no, and I need to put myself first. I have to draw my boundary and focus on my peace. Time with my family and not to feel like I have to take care of everyone else. So for now, I just can't handle people. Nita and I need to step back and not have you come by I'm setting a boundary with people too, so that I can have that limited 2 months of vacation for what I need. Again, I love you and I adore you, and my heart is with you. While you're going through all these things, I am still here via text if you want to catch up. And check in and send our family the best wishes. So like telling me that I am selfish and have not given enough to her family. So if I want to still be included and known to her family, then it means that I have to catch up or check in every once in a while, messaging, so that I prove to both Heather and Nita that I am a good friend. Or not. Who thinks that me standing up for myself is both of them agreeing that I am the worst friend all this time? Not just a bad friend with all of those conditions to the Gibbons lesbian couple of years of building, establishing LGBT roots for their family. Let's see. Heather messages me saying, spelling out Leneita, and I have been working and to improve. Sorry, that I added by mistake. It says Leneita and I, Heather, have an incredible relationship, and truly due to talking to each other about everything. So hopefully things that I have said in these videos are aligned with each of your personal lives and your paths to bridge and meet each other. Especially before making decisions about important things in our life, including mutual friends. Remember, maybe they did talk about how much they were attracted to me, and then me being a young age. And hoping that all of you older ages can understand that decision to find moments to both of their boring or new life exciting, and community help, emotional help, mental health help, by both of them deciding that it's a good time to invite the attractive GIO when it's for chill, stressless events, moments of events for chilling and relaxing. And now that at that time I'm experiencing crisis, then now I have become a lesser person, and they both are taking advantage of my advice before in years before, and now are applying them all over their life at my time in need for help, so that all of you being mature can believe their side and say, Gio, don't be a hypocrite. Those two are using their time to become better people with happy, fulfilling lives. And it's all mature, rated R. Heather says, I know I have said many times that you are going through so much. So much that I, Heather, would not ever decide I would want for any other person to experience. Not my children, not my family, I am only a person the same with Nita. And together we can sacrifice before it starts negatively. Affecting us our relationship, and our mental, emotional health. It's not that I don't feel I, Heather, can confide in you. or that I feel you are disposable, please just know that this is purely taking care of myself. So that I, Heather, can become the person I want to be. And she has maybe decided on stopping meeting, inviting new people to her house that she won at that legal meeting. See, I'm like, Heather G. That is why I said if you need the help with physical needs to labor around in your home, then ask. You keep going in circles with your problems that I heard about many years ago, many times ago, and your decisions about your life that keep changing. Because you are still afraid to ask. That's the biggest problem, is your fear to ask for help. And, well, Heather maybe saw that message and thought that I was so low that I was begging, and I wasn't. I actually was taking on the mature hat and saying, you are behaving like a hypocrite, and please take a moment to understand that I am in need you are in need, Heather, and your family, and I am willing because it helps both sides. And it's a good reason to think that I am being responsible with my older age, and to be seen by both of you as a person to respect at an older age, not just the, oh my god, I'm gonna drool over Gio. And then a whole list of me saying, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for all these things if you don't think I am grateful. Is it my skin color? Okay, so the month happens at that crisis center. Crisis center. And I am kicked out because I tried to explain to the staff that teen fantasy books are not Satan books, but all of the staff believed that I was bringing in a Satan book because it was about a teen witch learning the good and bad wars of magic, and that having high values and morals is always best. And that staff only kept hearing Satan. And in the morning, they announced to everyone that was there present that Satan books are not allowed in that building or in life. And then one of the mornings, because they kept announcing the same rule for that week, one of the staff women shows up with a teeny tiny crop top shirt with a skirt, from here, and then showing all of this. And I'm like, you know, I'm voicing, that is against the rules. So that staff added that comment as another rule-breaking decision. All my decision to discriminate and be disrespectful to staff members. And then that means that I couldn't say anything. So if there were bad rules like that, with the not having a real modern time third perspective for things like that book, and me going to the library's director for a real signature name with the library rules, including a short explanation that that library doesn't give satanic books or information. And which I gave to the staff only to be given it back like this is trash, and then have me in a room to sign legal paperwork with my name for very obscure rules with two staff women, one with a Christian preacher certification career path, married, and another super young woman every day wearing super like tight short shirts with very tight to her body, and like what? Named Melissa, that looks Hispanic with black long hair, and talks to the other Indian woman, young woman, about rap and the young cool crowd. While both of them have their tattoos like 90% of the staff with their tattoos. And piercings, which means they were using the Christian building rules for their own personal use against whoever they preferred from the homeless list of women and children. Again, only for censorship types of talking and discussions during chapel, which is the time that all those money donors show up for that building of crisis center name in that area of NAMPA. In the state of Idaho. So I have the voice recordings here, and I have Heather's and Nita's, the voice recordings I sent to both of them during the time that I was kicked out from NAMPA. And Heather and Nita picked me up. Sorry, a burden to both of them again. And after sleeping at their house and Nita having a conversation with me, telling me, you know what, you are right. Everything you have told us has been not a human to human experience of heart to heart, and you know that we cherish you and want the best for you. I would like for you to stay in this house for the time that you need, so that I can help you find a good therapist to express and have that support from the anger, sadness, disappointment that you experience these past 2 months. And I'm checking you and you don't look good. happy or any of that the same as the person I met the first year that you experienced at Rocky Mountain High School. And so I'm like finally like feeling I can kind of calm down from feeling like an animal, like a wild animal inside, feeling not having like stable ground, and it's all rocky, and fear, and you know, I'm starting to feel cared, you know, in compassion, and you know, like a checkup, because I have experienced 2 months of awful treatments. Then the next day, Heather and Nita say, no, we checked online, and it'd be best if you go to the other one, the one place, the other homeless shelter that that got suggested to you from the crisis center. And it seems that they have the same things, and hopefully you can just show up and they'll have a room for you to stay. And so Heather and all the Gibbons get in their car. Well, they're 2 kids and Nita. They all go with me to downtown Boise, Idaho, and I am just sitting there, scared again, and shut down. I am still the youngest looking one in all of those crisis center homeless shelters. So we drive and then finally arrive in that area, and it is dirty. It is dirty. And there's homeless people outside laying on the path. with all their things, their belongings, and just, you know, outside on the streets. And, you know, you have the car, the van going in, and I'm like, both of you can see where you're leaving me, right? And then Heather's like, here's a $20 bill here, like, enjoy so you can buy yourself food. And then I'm like, thanks. And so I wait for the fence to open so that people can go in and like find a place. And you know, they have the afternoon late night food, which is like another plate like this, but that area is like run down, old building. And I'm going in and I'm there to add my name so that I am allowed to stay inside the building and not outside. I don't have a bed. I don't have a bedroom, and all the bedrooms are full with women that share like bed bunks, and they have like 4 or 5 in one bedroom, like stacked up like this. And I have to stay on a mat shared with like 5, 6 other women in a place. For the night, because it's a night shelter. And they don't have resources. If I needed a change in underwear, maybe I'd be using someone else's underwear that got left and traded. And so all the resources are like, well, it's what we have. And they have showers and stuff, but you know, like, it's like dark, and like, I'm not going to step on the floor. And the bathrooms, I don't want to know the levels of clean. And it's all volunteer work too. And I experienced that cleanly volunteer work at the shelter in NAMPA. So that work was from the homeless women too. So I know the the levels of maybe it's not clean. So I'm freaking out inside because I still have maybe 5 months left, and at that shelter I am allowed to have my phone. So I like instantly message Nita a picture too, and I'm like, I seriously can't. I can't stay because I mentally can't. And Nita, right, messages me back and says, okay, look, you know what? Are you allowed to leave? Because if you can, then I will drive over there and pick you up, and then have you stay here with us. Hold up. This is me being brave because those pictures still have me have this short, very small mental breakdown with my mind and body. Just feeling the levels of OCD. Okay, this is the good, clean, this is what they have, where the tampons are. And they leave those bottles of spray clean. Like if you need to clean an area, please, and have these bottles for yourselves. see, I'm like feeling horrible because that bus pass is $42. See, that feeling that I have to prefer their say, Heather's and Nita's, for paying for that pass, because it's a lot of money. $42, or it's just a lot of money to me, and maybe to them because they have their 7 children plus other bills. So, Nita is sick, and she drove with Heather to that shelter for support towards me, but then Heather knows that Nita has like bowel problems, and I think that one hit her that night, which meant that she couldn't drive. And Heather was like, I don't want to go and pick up Gio. You know, like, backing up her word to saying Heather is first priority. Heather is more important. All these things that she said in her text. And, you know, I'm being told, okay, so Heather would prefer to just pay for a room at a motel or something nearby. And so they send me a picture of the place that they have reserved for me. It's still a long walk, and I have to carry all my stuff for like I am lost too because of the strange streets. So it's more added time, and my black bag is kind of starting to rip. I'm like, and it's heavy, and I'm tired, and I'm short, and sorry if Heather thought that I was Miss fucking muscle only born and lives in the gym, but that's a fake lie, and I am a tired soul with too much experience using my body in strange circumstances with really tired feet, and Heather saying, look at me, look. Don't you understand that I'm not super fit? So, you don't understand the physical things that have been happening to me close to 2 months, and you just think that I have a personal chauffeur every day from door to door. And you feel like it's nothing to just say, I would prefer to pay for a motel bedroom instead of me going out and driving to pick up Gio, which is less than $140. $140 or $180. See, I am so anxiety fear led that I'm like messaging Nita not to message me while I am walking, because I'm like, my phone is only charged to 68%, and me being like, that is close to me saying it's at 6%. If I don't make it to that motel and it is getting dark, it is the same thing as that reaching 6% of battery. So I finally arrive, and I feel so much more calmer, because I'm like, it's one night, and then the next day I'll have my friends pick me up, and finally those two will understand that I don't have the resources to live in a different area. I am explaining to them, and I am accepting all the times that both of them say, you need to try this option or that option. what about this other option? And then all those things I go through and I update with real proof, not just my words, because Heather doesn't trust my words, doesn't trust my experience because I'm too young, and maybe that means that I'm going to lie to both of them. So I call both of them so they know that I'm not dead. And then both of them are like, good, thank you, because we want to know that you are not dead somewhere, and now we can rest. And I'm, telling them, like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I am freaking out. That picture was a really nice one. And Heather being like, oh yeah, I saw, like, yeah, sure, but, like, I guess, like, there have been worse places, right? Like that TV show Hoarders. So I'm like, thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't wait for you and you to show up tomorrow so I can, just have a safe place. A safe feeling, and that can be my next journey, to feel safe. And then the next day, I have to leave the room, and I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. It is close to noon, and I'm informing the staff that I am waiting for my friends to show up to pick me up. And then 1 o'clock happens, 2 o'clock happens, 3, 4, and then I'm like, where is Nita? Where is Heather? And I'm not told anything. I am not informed in any way. I just get curious and I message them like, where are you? I call them, I message, and then later, sorry if my times are off. That was a freak out moment for me with all the instability. And Nita says, sorry that I missed your call. Heather and I have been working on her classroom And that is what has been happening these hours. What's up? And I'm like, what's up? What's up? What do you mean, what's up? And I'm discussing this to Nita with the same level of intention to be picked up. Being like, I have informed the staff about staying here for a few hours before getting picked up from both of you, like you said during the walk to the motel, and me being super happy to have agreed with to having you or Heather pick me up. And Nita says, sorry, yeah, sorry, we don't have the room. The shed is being given to my brother-in-law, the one with the two sons married to the other deaf sister, and me being like, couch? Like, if the man needs his room, but like I can't have like a cushion on a couch, or is that space only for your 1 hour away from Heather? And 1 hour, a few hours, is too much of a jealous thing for Heather. And then saying that the small house shed where Heather told me about the creepy side to her step daughter, the one that likes horror stories. With super intense emotions, and how that makes her scared as a mom or stepmom or an average person. And so they said that that shed is closed off because it's summertime and it needs to add some layers of heat absorption or more wood. And that means that that no one is staying in that shed, but the brother-in-law is staying on the couch or the office, and the kids are staying in the living room, and with all their bedrooms still open. Anyways, just saying, like, find a tree, find a bush, find somewhere to, just find somewhere to crap. And then she messages me again and says, I don't have money. I have this much money left. I'm like, oh, are you gonna blame me now? Heather gonna blame me now? Were you forced to use a credit card? And then says, I know you are scared. I wish I had more to give, but I don't. And I'm really sorry. I am letting you down. Now I have to go home, you know, like behaving as if I agreed to feelings of cheating. And I'm like, me, attracted to you. Me, attracted to Heather. Like, can you see how outrageous that is. Can all y'all people understand how much the back and forth of the flirting compared to no, I'm an adult and this is real-time conversation, and then me being the old wise one, and then me saying, okay, well, I don't believe that I'm like this hottest thing ever, and all the time is meant for flirting, and I am not confusing it with your experimental time with friend John, who stayed with both of you and opened, supported each of your curiosity for active, normal flirting and feelsies in front of people, not just to stay in the bedroom. And then says, I have good news. I understand that shelter life is scary. But it's safer to stay in the shelter compared to outside in the streets. And I'm like, are you just like dropping money like you have this built up trust that you lost during the divorce because it's not being invested in your last old name connected to Tilton, sir? Oh no. And that would help me feel safer because Nita told me this other time the story when she experienced a high school boy sexually forcing her to a wall and touching up her shirt. And then later deciding that if she chose to charge that boy, that meant Nita would be destroying a boy's life. So that means that I got to think back to that helpful story for me to accept full homelessness.
I sent Heather some messages and with the apology and everything, and my only worry right now to have some response from someone out of the three, either Emma or my cousin Roxana or John, and if not, then at least right now to go and find a place where I can at least charge my phone and have some form of phone protection, security with me in case something happens to me out here or it's not stolen or something. So that's where I'm headed off to right now. And no, I do not want to. I can't carry all of this again back to the shelter. My body is really tired and it pretty much has broken down halfway to get here. So, yeah. I'm going to be here, waiting and seeing, and hopefully it just doesn't get dark before anything. And no, I do not want to have to leave my belongings somewhere out here. Those are some of the only things I have left. The shelter over there told me that I was only to have what is kept in the locker, and that is only enough room for my backpack. And the 3 shirts and 3 pairs of bottoms, shorts, and it just started with the wind, so I don't even know if it's going to rain.
And then Nita said, I am going to shut my phone off. Going to shut it off and continue my work. So, good luck. And that means that I was thinking about her family dynamic, including that time she told me that her cousin sexually took advantage of her, and that cousin is also a part of the LDS / Mormons. And that was a good help for me to think about all the reasons that I held on to as a person that cares, so that it meant that my emotions were to see the Gibbons as good people.
Hey, so, I'm so sorry to bring this up, and I know you and Nita are trying to unplug from the world, and I just need a place to stay tonight. I am here at the Sanctuary of City Lights, and I contacted staff. I talked to staff, and they said that I am not allowed in until I am approved from Sarah, and I emailed her. I don't know when she'll reach her emails, and I don't know if I'll get a response before everything closes here. I do not want to be out in the streets and be arrested for being on the streets and potentially be placed in jail and maybe deported if they search my social security information that I don't have anymore. I contacted a few people, and, well, my cousin, the one that didn't respond, and I tried Emma from Ponderosa, the one I was living with, and those are pretty much my only options. I'm waiting on a response from John. I don't know if he's at work or what, but there's those three that I have attempted to contact. Yeah. I am a lot panicky and scared right now because, like I said, I have no idea where to go, and I am so sorry that you guys had to spend $100 on me last night. that makes me feel really bad, and I feel really bad about where I am right now. And I am so sorry for this extra burden. And I have nothing else to sell or tell you guys. So, yeah. I am trying my best to figure out some other place to go and not freak out and not think about things. And I'm so sorry if I'm not speaking loud enough right now. I'm also scared that, once my phone dies, it dies. I'm going to look around and see if I can find a place, that at least I can have my phone on. Yeah, I don't want to end up in the streets, not have my phone turned on, and maybe be arrested or whatever is around, and not have some form of contact. Emma is on vacation in Utah and not around.
And then Heather says, "Hey, I turned my phone back on because I wanted to tell you, Gio, to know that I have been thinking about you and sending prayers to you and all the good vibes your way. I hope you found a place to sleep last night." And that was the day after that I had to accept my last contact, which is an old-time coworker that at that time was working for DoorDash, and he was living in his car for work reasons. And that was my experience with close to 3 weeks living, sleeping 80%, 90% of the time in his vehicle, his car. And Heather and Nita saying, life is good because you are not our burden no more. Thank you, God. There. That's the story for the love of two women that believe their many years, 10 years or more with other people show to the world and community how much their lives are important as new LGBT members, mothers, and always, 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 always put their friendships first in the meaning of value and care and safety. For any of you who can't hear, who are deaf, hard of hearing, or hearing, all that time I'm just feeling all their love. Both of them thinking about me for so many moments in their personal lives, from time to time, for at least 10 years. To the good life of Leneita Gibbons and her wife Heather Athens Gibbons. And the meaning of friendship. I learned the meaning of friendship from what both of them wanted to teach me. So, how'd I do?